Welcome. I'm Sandra Rupp, and I'm anchor of the Art of 21st Century Career Navigation. I am also an executive coach and advisor to CEOs on the yin and yang of leadership. Today I'm here to offer a free executive coaching session to CEOs. I'd like to give a special thanks today to the Financial Times Alphaville as well as the Wall Street Journal for helping me. When I attended business school, there were 40% women in my class. This was at the Kellogg School at Northwestern. So for any CEO of a consumer products company to say you can't find 30% women for a CEO team, well, I can. So I'll be happy to help you right now. Sign me up as your executive coach. I'll get the search consultant, the right one, and we'll get this taken care of very quickly. So if you don't have women on your CEO team, you're losing out for your shareholders. When I look at a CEO team today and I see under 10% women, I say this is a disaster. And I can tell you a few CEOs that I'm challenging right now. If the HR people are listening in, I'd like to say I have a lot of points for you all, and I'd be happy to share them in an executive coaching call with your CEO on the call as well as with you. I think we'd have a very vibrant discussion. Look, Microsoft had 30% women on their CEO team when Steve Ballmer was running it, so there are no excuses in the tech sector either. That article in Newsweek, I think, really woke up a lot of people, that cover story about what Silicon Valley thinks of women. I can find 30% women for your CEO team today, okay? And I'm delighted to be helping some of them do that. I have a background in executive search, 18 years. Based in New York, I'm now in Florida, in Naples, Florida. I'm an executive coach. I very much value masculine leadership, but I don't think that we all need to aim to be the same. In fact, I believe that having purely masculine leaders and purely feminine leaders makes for a great leadership team. So today I want to talk about feminine leaders, how they're different, how they think. Now, I also am a big advocate of taking women from other industries and putting them into your own industry. So as an example, Chief Marketing Officer, oftentimes if you get someone from another industry, it brings in some new thinking. I think it's a great idea in some cases. I believe there needs to be a lot more creative thinking around who they appoint to their CEO teams. Oftentimes, best in class is the way to go, so I would go for the best talent. It doesn't have to be in your industry. The Chief Strategy Officer can be from another industry. The Chief Innovation Officer oftentimes should be from another industry. And if you don't have all of these titles on your CEO team, CEOs, then I'm going to put them on your team, because I don't want your CEO team just to be 10 people. I want it to probably be closer to 25 people so that we can get some broader diversity on that team. It's going to make it a more vibrant team. Now, some of you may be saying, how am I going to manage 25 people? Well, at the executive ranks, it's very common. If you look at Procter & Gamble's executive CEO team, actually, I think it's closer to 36, and about 12 of them are ladies. You can find them for your board. I believe you can find them for your CEO team. Now, it may be harder to find the P&L run general managers, but even there, I'm seeing a lot more women candidates coming up. So I just read the other day, the president of the Women's Forum in Europe, she'd actually mentioned in one of her articles or interviews that even if you look at General Electric and the aviation division, which you think would be predominantly male executive team, a lot of the business is being run by women. Now, the other reason I want to get more women on the CEO team is because of the marketing and advertising. It really upsets me when I see male-dominated marketing teams and advertising teams coming up with inappropriate ads. And I've seen a lot of it. Some of you know that I've spoken out on some of the ads that I've seen. I've gotten changes made with top CEOs by pointing out to them that they need better strategy. I want to work with the advertising CEOs on that. So if any of you are advertising CEOs, I'm really good at working with advertising CEOs, and I'd love to hear from you. We need many more women creative director heads at the ad agencies. Now, some of you may say, well, it's hard to find women who want that job. Well, it's getting easier. The other thing I'd point out is we need to talk about travel. We need to talk about what it means to be a leader in your company, because I don't believe that people need to travel as much as they used to do their jobs well. There is so much technology now with the video calls and with the ease of internet access. You can actually save a lot on your travel, and when you change the specs of the job, you have more female candidates. As an example, In the masculine leadership model, you needed women to come in at a certain point in the morning, stay until the end of the day. I think that we should have a lot more flexibility. If women have children, I believe they should be able to leave the office by 3 o'clock to be home with their children for those 2 hours before dinner. Then they can get some work done in the evening, which most of them already do anyway. And for fathers that need to be home for that matter. I am trying to get many of you to open up your eyes to a different leadership model. I believe that we need to change the focus from being at the office to being conscientious and doing a great job for the company. When you start to think in those terms, you have different expectations about what people are going to be doing. You don't need to control them, you don't need to see them, you don't need them to be in the office, because women are extremely conscientious, especially feminine leaders. They don't need to be physically present to get the work done, I assure you. They also are really good at multitasking. They're good at using technology. If you're posting revenue numbers in your company and trying to get people to compete, that doesn't work for feminine women. It actually makes them more stressed out than anything. To me, competition was the 20th century. It's not the 21st century. I live in a world of abundance, so there's enough for everyone to go around. I want everyone to do their best because I believe that the majority of women are better suited to a feminine leadership style. Not all. And I have talked to a variety of people about this, including MDs. There are some women who have a male brain. There are 3 things that determine gender. I personally am a purely feminine woman. I have no problem with Barbie dolls or Cinderella, so I am here today to talk about the feminine leadership style. Because I may have some people on my team who are different or may serve different roles in the company, making the team work better, making the team feel more calm. I don't need people to compete. Competition, again, is a 20th century value system. The future of leadership, to me, is about collaboration, and women and some men work much better in a collaborative leadership model, and that's why the yin and yang of leadership is going to become so popular in the 21st century. If your CEO is taking people out to sporting events and promoting that as their only way to be together socially, that is a problem. Your CEO should be promoting the arts, they should be promoting yoga, they should be promoting many things like meditation and other things beyond competitive sports. That's a very important point, don't forget it. There's another point that I'd like to bring up, is that some leaders are highly sensitive leaders. 20% of the population of any animal species is highly sensitive. High sensitivity, the best way to illustrate it was in the tsunami in Thailand years ago. Not that many animals were killed. The reason was because the 20% of the highly sensitive elephants had a sixth sense that that tsunami was approaching. They walked up the mountain, the other elephants followed, as did other animals and animal species. There were very few animals killed in that tsunami because sensitivity is valued in most animal species. In the 21st century, we need to value highly sensitive people and leaders. I am a highly sensitive leader, so I know a lot about this topic. We know when there is danger approaching, we are the first to discuss it, and we will be helping you through the 21st century. In this century, there will be a lot of issues around, is there enough food, water, energy for people? Yes, in a world of abundance, there's enough to go around. The difference is some people are still thinking in a world of scarcity. In a world of scarcity, there's competition, there's fights, there's never enough to go around. We can't survive in that kind of leadership-driven model. There are a lot of things that will be changing as this feminine energy and leadership becomes more predominant, and I think the men will really value it. It gives them a sigh of relief because the world has been dominated by too much masculine energy. Any of you who listen to me know and would probably agree with that. The masculine energy has worked, but when there's too much of it, empires fall. I also would like to say that I'd be happy to interview any of you CEOs on these topics and to let you know that there's a lot of hope for the future. I would like women to be able to dress how they want at the office. Now, I knew that Citigroup had made a lot of progress when I saw a woman in a pink sleeveless dress on their website. This is a huge amount of progress for a financial services company. But I'm really happy with Citigroup right now because I did a lot of work with them in the past as an executive search consultant. And Michael Corbat was the winner of my Davos CEO Challenge because he brought 2 ladies to Davos. So thank you to Citigroup. I want to tell you that there are more companies that need to lead the way for women, and I am here to help you do that. I really believe that investing in the feminine leadership style and empowering it is the largest economic opportunity worldwide. I would like to see more investment among angel investors in women companies, women female-founded companies. There are so many things we need to do, and Davos CEOs, we need to get going. So here's where we need to go. We need to be valuing the feminine model of leadership. We need to be understanding it. We need to be promoting it. We don't need to worry so much about sponsorship, in my view. To me, sponsorship is more of the patriarchal model. I don't think that we need to be playing favorites. I can tell you, I laughed when the Wall Street Journal had their article about men joining the fight for gender equality, but then they had this little picture. I won't say the company name, but it's a company that we've all been following. And the vice president there from the tech company said that he had possibly favored male staffers who logged long hours. Well, of course, all the women in business sort of laughed when they read that because most of us know that certainly in companies that I've worked for and in many companies I've observed, the women work as many hours, if not more hours. So I know that there are exceptions to that if they have a family or have children. But there are many women in business now who did not have children. And I'll tell you, even the women that had children, once you get to that executive level and you're making a certain amount of money, a lot of the women have figured it out. They have nannies, they have help. So I want male CEOs to stop saying that it is an issue. It's patriarchal thinking, it's keeping women down, and we need to stop blaming women for why we don't have more women on CEO teams and boards, because it's really up to the male CEOs to make it happen. And there are plenty of male CEOs who have been able to make it happen. We've got plenty of role models now between CEO Steve Ballmer, when he had so many women on his leadership team at Microsoft, A.G. Lafley at Procter & Gamble. We've got plenty of women at General Electric divisions. We got to keep going, gentlemen. We got to keep going here. We got to get the ladies on those CEO teams, running those divisions. And I have the perfect background to help all of you get 30% women on your CEO teams. So for anyone who is interested in working with me on the Yin Yang of Leadership Advisory, I would be happy to help you. I love working with men and women. I'm very good at it, and I would be delighted to help all of you achieve 30% women on your CEO teams. If you think that getting public relations out there that you're so good at gender parity is working when you don't have 30% women on your CEO team, it's not, because there are people like me who are pointing out that you really need to look at the CEO team to see how a company is doing on gender. I don't believe that CEOs should have any problem at the multinational companies finding 30% women for their CEO teams. I know that the Wall Street Journal has been following my tweets about women in leadership, getting 30% women to Davos. I'm excited about the articles I'm reading in all your publications, and I think we're making progress. I want to thank the Thinkers 50 for watching me. I want to thank the World Economic Forum for watching me, and I want to thank all of you for participating in getting 30% women to World Economic Forum very soon. And I hope that this has allowed you to think outside the box for a little while, and I would be happy to offer executive coaching to any of you via my company, parthenonadvisors.com. Check out my website, learn more about me. I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for listening today. I'm Sandra Rupp, and I am the Feminine Leader Voice. Thank you. You can find me at Career Expert on YouTube, at Exec Career Coach on Twitter. Thank you again. I look forward to hearing more from you, and thank you.